Sawadee Kap. Hello and welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha. This is the first video of a three-part video series where I'm going to help you to understand the three poisons, also referred to as the three unwholesome roots or the three fires. These are the three things that are keeping the mind in the unenlightened state. And it's when you purify the mind of these three poisons or these three unwholesome roots that the mind can then experience enlightenment. So I'm going to help you to understand what these are and how to eliminate them out of the mind. Welcome. I'm pleased that you're here. In this first video, we're going to talk about craving, also known as desire, attachment, wants, expectations, longing, yearning. This is the mind chasing after the objects of its affection, thinking that the next new shiny object waiting around the corner is going to provide some kind of lasting satisfaction. It's like an unquenchable thirst. It's the mind's selfish desires, longing, yearning, and chasing after what it thinks is going to provide some level of satisfaction. So the mind will pull towards the objects of its affection. You might have experienced this when you were in the mall, for example, and when you were walking through the mall and you saw a brand new pair of shoes or a new video game or maybe a new phone or jewelry or clothing. The mind was like, oh, I just got to have that. This is going to be so great for me. Oh, and the mind just chases after this. Or it might be more money that the mind is chasing and chasing and chasing. Or maybe it's a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend. The mind thinks that something external is going to provide some kind of lasting satisfaction. So the mind chases it and chases it and chases it. And if the mind gets what it wants, it gets happy, excited, elated. It gets pleasant feelings. But if the mind doesn't get what it wants, it gets painful feelings like anger, sadness, frustration, and others. So as long as the mind is chasing, 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 in some cases it's going to get what it wants, but in other cases it's not. So therefore, the mind can't get to permanent happiness and permanent peace because the world is impermanent and you can't seek satisfaction from things externally. The satisfaction, the peace, and the joy needs to come from internally. So as long as the mind is longing, yearning, wanting and longing and expecting and chasing after things, it can't be permanently peaceful and permanently joyful. Because in some cases it's going to get what it wants, and in other cases it's not. And when it gets what it wants, it's going to get pleasant feelings, but when the mind doesn't get what it wants, it's going to get painful feelings. So the mind stays stuck in this continuous cycle. In fact, sometimes when you're in the painful feelings, the mind might feel like what it wants in order to be able to get to something that's somewhat comfortable is to actually crave something. This is where when you're experiencing painful feelings, you might turn to food like ice cream or chocolate cake, or you might turn to gambling or sex or drugs or alcohol. The mind is trying to get out of those painful feelings, but it doesn't know how to do that. So what it does is it just craves something else to be able to get to pleasant feelings. But then it stays stuck in this cycle because it can only experience that pleasure as long as it's doing that gambling, or as long as it's eating that food, or as long as it's having sex. When the mind's not able to do that, it ends up right back into the painful feelings. So by understanding what craving, desire, attachment is, and then eradicating it from the mind can then experience the peace and joy. But as long as this craving, desire, attachment, longing, yearning is in the mind, it can't be permanently peaceful and permanently joyful. So it needs to be uprooted out of the mind. And that's where the teachings of the Buddha are going to be able to help you understand how to remove it and eliminate it from the mind. The Buddha offers several teachings, an entire path of how to eliminate craving, desire, attachment from the mind. That's the Eightfold Path. That's the core central teaching that is going to guide you to eliminate all the craving, desire, attachment, the longing, the yearning, the chasing after the objects of your affection. When the mind's not doing that, it will oftentimes swing to the other side where it's dull and lethargic. But that's not where the Buddha is teaching you to be able to train the mind. He's teaching you to come to the middle where you can pursue goals, objectives, or interests through wise decision making. So the Eightfold Path is the core central teaching that's going to teach you how to restrain your mind and pull it back so you don't chase after cravings, desires, attachments. But also so the mind is not over here where it's dull and lethargic, lazy and complacent, where you can come to the middle. The Eightfold Path is the path to enlightenment. It's the middle way. So there's two things in the path to enlightenment that are targeting craving, desire, attachment, training the mind to let go. It's breathing mindfulness meditation and generosity. Breathing mindfulness meditation is where you're focused on the breath, and anytime the mind moves off the breath, you cut that off and let it go, and you bring the mind back to the breath. The goal of this meditation isn't to eliminate your thoughts. The goal is to notice your thoughts sooner and sooner and cut them off and let them go easier and easier. So if you're doing this meditation and you have to cut off and let go 10, 20, 30 different times, this is actually very good for your mind, because the mind in the unenlightened state doesn't know how to let go, because it just chases and chases and chases and chases. So this meditation is going to train your mind to let go so that now you can come to the middle. But you're going to need all the other factors of the Eightfold Path to be able to help you. It's not just meditation that's going to do this for you. Then there's the practice of generosity. Generosity is also training your mind to let go. Because what generosity is the giving and sharing of more than is strictly required in any given situation, such as your time, effort, energy, and resources, without any expectation of anything in return. Because with craving, desire, attachment in the mind will think, if I'm going to spend 3 hours doing this, I want this in return. And if I spend 3 days doing this, I want this in return. But what generosity is helping the mind to be able to do is give and share with others without any expectation of anything in return. So if you're going into the store and you hold the door for somebody and you let them go in first, this is you practicing generosity. Or if you share some money or some food or some other things like this with other people without any expectation of anything in return, not even a thank you. If you have an expectation that someone's going to say thank you, and you're standing there holding the door when they go through, not everyone's going to say thank you. So when they go through and they don't say thank you, you'll be frustrated or agitated or annoyed. This is the mind itself causing this because of its cravings, desires, wants, and expectations. So there's only one reason to practice generosity. It's to enhance the quality of your mind. So you need to do that without any expectation of anything in return. With both of these practices, breathing mindfulness meditation and generosity, what you're going to notice is that frequency is more important than the amount. So if it was a matter of one meditation for 30 minutes or two for 15, if you practice 2 meditations for 15 minutes in a day, that's actually going to be more beneficial for you than the one for 30 minutes, because you're more frequently training the mind to let go, let go, let go, let go. Ultimately, you'd like to build up to 2 or 3 sessions per day for 30 minutes. This is ideal. This is what's going to help you to completely transform your mind. But it can take 6 months, a year, even 2 years to build up to this. So take your time. You're not in a rush. You're not in a race with anybody. You're not in a competition. You're in your own journey to enlightenment. So what you'll notice is frequency is more important. Even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, you can still do that meditation and then gradually make it longer and longer. And your generosity is the same way too. Frequency is more important than the amount. So if it was a matter of giving $500 once a year to a children's orphanage, or giving $1 a day, you're actually going to see more benefit with the $1 a day, because the mind's more frequently having to let go. And if you're noticing, like you take your clothes out of the dryer or you're washing your clothes and you notice they're ripped and torn and you're frustrated, agitated about that, you know that your mind's craving for these clothes to be permanent. So now maybe you give away some of your clothes, training your mind through generosity to let go. Or if you're noticing whenever you misplace your jewelry, that your mind is frustrated or agitated or shaken up in some way, maybe you let other people wear your jewelry or you give it away. Or maybe if you're noticing you're checking your bank account and you're always worried about how much money and how much assets and financial stability that you have. Well, in this situation, you can see that your mind is attached to your money and your feelings are attached to the level of your bank account. And in this situation, you would like to give and share some of your resources in terms of money. You can give this to other people. So if you were going to share, say, $5, you would like to break that up so that maybe you're giving $1 or $2 per donation box or per situation. So instead of giving, $100 once a month, maybe you give $3 a day. And this is going to be able to be more helpful for your mind to be able to let go, let go, let go. So both of these practices, both breathing mindfulness meditation and generosity, will train your mind to let go. And this is so important because the cravings is what's producing the anger and all the other discontent feelings like frustration, agitation, annoyance, guilt, shame, fear, stress, anxiety, loneliness, boredom, shyness, resentment, jealousy. We're going to talk about this in the next video and how this is impacting your life, where it's causing disharmony in your relationships. But if you start out understanding craving, desire, attachment and what this is and what's remedying it and what's addressing it, this is a great place to start. So in the next video, we'll talk about anger. Thank you so much for joining, and perhaps we'll see you in the next video. Have a very lovely and wonderful rest of your day. Sawadee ka.